And earlier this week, we spoke with Ahmad Shalabe. He is a transportation engineer at the University of Manitoba. His conclusion is that road maintenance will become more of an issue in the years to come. And interestingly enough, I went through my library. We did stories back in 2012 about the government of the day cutting back on late night maintenance on our roads. The answers we've received from the provincial government have been very short of the mark. The new highways minister promising to get back to us on a series of questions we had following an interview 2 weeks ago. Nothing yet when we asked key questions about shortage of employees and equipment in the department. We're joined now on 680 CJOB by Janice Luke. She's the Winnipeg City Councillor for Waverley West. She's been asking a lot of these same questions as well. Her constituency borders on the South Perimeter Highway. Janice Luke, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks very much, Richard, for having me. Thank you.
When was the last time you drove the South Perimeter, and what was that like?
I drove it this morning to drop my son off on St. Mary's Road, and I'm coming back. This is at about 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, 8:15 actually, and I'm driving back. There has been a new concrete barrier installed essentially between the South Perimeter Bridge over the Red River and Brady Road. It's one of the tallest barriers in Canada. It's about 5 feet tall. What's happened, this is the first year it's been in place, first winter, and what's happened is the accumulation of snow essentially eliminates one of the lanes. So this morning, traveling west, there was no lane beside the median because of the snow. It's a very dangerous situation, Richard, because as you know, over $75 million worth of cargo comes up through the states on 75, and then it goes east and west. This is a major trade corridor, and there's big problems on it.
Well, it's interesting because over the years in the spring, Highway 75 has been closed and decisions were made to raise the level of Highway 75 so that it would be closed fewer times. Do you equate the South Perimeter Highway and really the entire Perimeter Highway, but especially as it goes towards Centerport to the west side of the city of Winnipeg and the RM of Rosser, do you consider that in a similar way, that this is a trade corridor and it should be treated as such?
Well, it is. Of course it is. And people may be wondering, why am I so concerned about the perimeter? It's not a city road. But city residents, by the thousands, use it every day. There's over 30,000 vehicles a day. And that's not just semi-trailers. It's also residents in the city of Winnipeg. So this is a trade corridor that was designed with 1950s engineering, and it was built in the 60s. When it was built, Centerport wasn't even a thought at that point in time. It was designed to be a ring road around Winnipeg. And now it's become a multimodal global trade corridor, which is great. It's all wonderful, but we're dealing with 1950s engineering design. And that's a problem. And the province is fixing it. They're doing upgrades at intersections, but the design of the actual road is still in the 50s. So what we have to do is we have to look at how do we keep it as safe as possible. And maintenance 24/7 is what's required.
You've brought this up here before. You've probably talked to a lot of people about it. Are you getting any answers from the provincial politicians when you say, let's get the graders out there, let's get the highway trucks out there? What are they telling you, Janice Lukes?
Well, in all fairness, I've written them all letters, the MLAs that border along the South Perimeter. I've written them all letters, sent them off. I've spoken to the Waverley MLA multiple times on this. I've sent letters to the minister, the former minister of transportation, and now this current one. So I've requested meetings with them. I recognize that this year has been an exceptional year, but I also recognize that there have been staff cuts over the last 6 years. There have been equipment cuts also. And we all have priorities. I understand that. I completely understand that. But when it's a trade corridor, 24/7, engineered design from the 50s, we've got to use every possible Band-Aid we can until we upgrade the thing to 21st century engineering standards. So, hopefully they'll all meet with me. We'll talk about it because it's all their residents that use the South Perimeter also. But I have to tell you, Richard, I'm done with waiting. Like I'm raising this issue. I'm telling my constituents as best as possible to stay off the South Perimeter. It's a death trap. It really is. There's another huge collision over on the west side today. There was another one this morning over by St. Mary's. There was a semi truck that stopped and backed everything up. So, it's a very, very dangerous section of highway. The most number of vehicles actually on the perimeter now is in the South Perimeter, according to their 2018 numbers.
Janice Lukes, the City of Winnipeg councillor for Waverley West, joining us live.